calligraphy to all the new areas, actually the pottery to painting to all the areas which we do. So the campus, I would say, for the students, it's one of the most vibrant campus. It's a 24/7 campus. You are on campus. If you want to be at 2 a.m. in the morning also, your labs are open. The girls have direct access from the classes to through an overbridge to the rooms directly rather than going through the other areas of the campus. So in whatever manner, actually, it's one of the most secure, the most active, and the most add-on courses and the practical things happening on campus. We also have a very active publishing program where we have done Sri Miki Desai's Wooden Architecture of Kerala. We have done Synagogues of Kerala, which is a rare book. And we are now working on a new design book by Miki Desai, one of the leading architects of India. So I won't, as Brigadier Ashok Kumar said, we will also be having a new campus which is happening in Trivandrum. Trivandrum campus, even today, which is also the satellite campus of Vagamon Architecture School, other than the MBA school over there. They have regular programs for the Vagamon architecture students where they spend at least 7 to 10 days per semester in Trivandrum campus to have programs in Trivandrum as well. Once again, really grateful to Sri Rasul Pukuti for being a part of the program, to inaugurate the program, and it's a rare privilege. And I know his schedule. I've been to his studio many times, and you can't even spare even 10 seconds out of him, actually, because that's how busy he is in the Bollywood, and he's one of the most respected persons in the Bollywood. And I'm happy that we are published his books as well in English as well as in Malayalam. And thank you, Rasul, and thank you, and welcome all the students actually to one of the most vibrant programs of architecture in entire South India. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. On this day, we have with us the winner of Oscar Award and sound engineer, Mr. Rasul Pukuti. Let us watch a small introduction video of him.
Rasul Pukuti is an Indian film sound designer, sound editor, and audio mixer. He won the Academy Award for Best Sound Mixing along with Richard Trike and Lantau for Slumdog Millionaire. He has worked in Hollywood, Hindi, Tamil, and Malayalam films. We warmly welcome you, sir, to the inaugural ceremony of BArch 2025.
Having watched this short video, I'm sure all of us are extremely proud that Mr. Rasul Pukuti, an Indian and Malayali, has achieved the ultimate award, that is the Oscar in 2009. And also, he was awarded Padma Shri by the Government of India in 2010. And he has won many prestigious awards for his works in Parithiraja, Ravan, India's Daughter. And recently, he has won the Golden Jury Film Awards for the Best Sound Designing for Sax by Julius. We are all extremely happy and proud that he is with us today, and it is a memorable occasion for BArch 2020 to 2025 to have him with us for the inaugural ceremony. Without further ado, I welcome Mr. Rasul Pukuti for the inaugural address.
Good morning, all of you. Good morning, Ravi. Good morning, Ashokji, and all of you who's working tirelessly behind this whole event as technical team and putting this whole event together. Virtual, live, it's quite rare. 2020 has been very, very difficult in many ways than one. Also, it has been very, very rewarding in terms of learning new ways of doing things. And, if you look at it, 2020 could be a year that you would regret a lot about the fact that, a lot many travels that you should have done has not been done. A lot many festivals that you should have celebrated has not been celebrated. A lot many people and things that you would have met is not been able to meet. But at the same time, when we carry a sense of loss and when we carry a sense of, being thrown into a situational banality of life where you are made to feel that you are one of the small species in this planet and you are nothing in this microcosmic system of things, you know. And when our planet is rebooted, when we come back, maybe in a year or two, or maybe 3, maybe 5 years, it might take for us to come back to a new normal, in terms of the new normal, or we think and we hope that we will go back to the normal that we knew, 8 months ago. We have to remember one thing, in that we are a part of an entire cosmic system. That is the biggest learning that we have learned over the past 7-8 months. Keeping that as a basic thought, today all of you joined here, beginning a new, taking a step towards a turning point in your career. As the first step towards being an architect, when I see an architect, in my life, he is not just a person who comes here, to give me some drawings and execute things. We, all of us, are in one way or the other are architects in our own way, because it is our life is about construction. When we meet somebody, we talk to somebody, we are creating an opinion about someone. So we are actually start constructing things, not on the physical terms of it, in the emotional terms of it. We go to a place, we see things and we like it, so we start constructing things within our mind. Every step, we eat something, we taste it, and we sense it, and we sensed it because we have constructed something about, what we have eaten. So every sense of our being and every step of your life, you are constantly constructing and reconstructing. We, as social beings, there are political systems, there are governance, there are, other systemic things that we are part of, where we make our opinions and we make our views, we imbibe things from others, we give it out to people. We don't know the fact that, or we are not decoding the fact that every time we remain as a social being and we conducting ourselves as a social being, we are actually constantly constructing and reconstructing. So what makes you people different? Maybe after 5 years down the line or 3 years down the line, when you walk out into a society where, as professionals or are people who want to holding a professional degree, what is that is waiting outside for you? Is a society. When I passed out from film school in 1995, when I came out into the industry with the structured knowledge of whatever I have learned in the film school, the industry told me that we don't need you. It was the biggest realization for me that an industry can function without you being there. Our industry can function without the structured knowledge that you have, or you have acquired, or you have learned it over many years. Then, as a professional, as a person who studied, as a person who had created his own viewpoint, as a person who has created a constructive opinion about things in life and marked out a way of living for himself, it is your duty and it is your challenge to create a need for yourself within a system, within a society that is constantly telling you that they don't need you. For me, that is the biggest thing of education. That this structured knowledge that you imbibe in this school is going to make you, is going to construct you a new you as a being, wherein You walk out of the gates of this institution tomorrow and you are going to construct something which is your own voice. Unless and until we create the voices that are identifiable, that are being related by the rest of our fellow beings, that is your sole purpose in this institution. You are not recognized, or the society will constantly tell you that we don't need you. That should be the means and measures of being in a school, you know. And I hope when you walk out of this institution, you are a set of people who are going to conquer spaces. When you construct something, I'm talking about physical construction, with measurements, with symmetry. With symmetry, when you are creating asymmetrical, spaces, you are constructing spaces. You also have the responsibility to create spaces that are not spaces that are part of this nature. What made human species different from the rest of the animal kingdom is that the human species have realized a need for shelter. But they are the ones who created shelter for first time. They broke it. They created caves. They removed things from a hillock, and they created holes where they can live. And we call them cavemen. So throughout the history of mankind, if you look at it, your anthropology, your civilization, your existence, and what is it that makes you as you in the history of mankind is what we have created. Every spaces that we have constructed. And the only thing that I would like you to tell you is that when you construct, when you create spaces, that spaces have to be part of the cosmic energy that we are living in today. And especially this last 8 months have constantly told you that this is the most important thing. When we construct emotional spaces, those spaces are going to be left with people. When you create huge buildings, and when you amass spaces from other people, people who lives in the lower strata of society, you buy things from them, and you encroach those spaces that they're living in. Then you create new spaces that people would come and buy and live and make their living. Every time you construct, you have to remember the fact that you are creating spaces that envelops and involve energy, that are in tune with the nature, in tune, in communion with the universe that we're living in. So unless and until you do two kinds of construction, which is a construction within a space that would embodify your measurements, that makes you as a separate individual architecture element. And also within that space, you are constructing your own emotional energies that other people come and imbibe. So every time in your path, this emotional construction is, the internal construction is very, very important, so that what you construct, the external being, the external outward structures that you construct is part of you, And that is the only thing that I would ask you to constantly imbibe during this process of you are within this institution in a learning process. I wish all of you to be a sovereign thinking mind that are important to this society and to this nature. Wish you all the very best. Wish you the most beautiful time of your life. Wish you the most decisive time of your life. And all the best. And wish you all the very best and all the very good in the years to come. And I welcome all of you to this new batch. And I consider this is at this moment with this participation, this whole involvement of you people into this new fold of this institution being inaugurated. Thank you very much, Ravi, and thank you very much, Ashokji, and thank you very much, all of you, for giving me this opportunity to speak all of you, my mind, my being, and the reason for my existence in this universe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rasul.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. These words will surely be with us throughout the course and and also in our life, and it will surely motivate us. So Dr. N. Ramachandran, our Dean of Management Studies, is a management teacher and also a consultant. This includes professorship in IIM Calcutta, Asian Institute of Technology, Bangalore. He has also been a visiting professor in Royal University of Law and Economics. He has authored a number of books related to his field and has a large number of publications to his credit. Professor Ramachandran has also developed a number of cases which are being used in IIM Calcutta and other premium institutions. I welcome Dr. N. Ramachandran, Dean of Management Studies, DCSMAT, for felicitation.
What I could talk to a group of budding architects, because I have practically no knowledge or experience with architecture. At the same time, as a human being living on this earth, experiencing the creations of great architects all around, I think it is a good idea to welcome you all to the campus and expect you to create great spaces in future. Long time back, I remember to have read somewhere that architecture is the will of an epoch translated into space. And it's a great idea that the architects are people who can think different, create spaces where the humans live and interact. And this makes up for something which is to be left behind to future. All that what we see today and wonder and look at with awe are all created by architects. When I went to Brihadishwara temple in Tanjavur, I used to think that how great this guy who designed this temple should have been. When I was standing in front of La Sagrada Familia, I was thinking about Gaudi, oh great guy who created all this at a time when there was no computers, no calculators, and a structure which is still being constructed is so great. So I wish all of you to become Gaudis and many such great architects and leave behind whatever you want to leave behind of this epoch to the next. And even for the girls who are joined the program, even though architecture is considered to be a man's forte by virtue of our social, cultural epochs, but there had been great women architects too. Like I remember Zaha Hadidi, who was considered to be one of the greatest women architects from Iraq. And I wish all of you to achieve those levels. So try to use your stay on the campus, not getting bogged down with the exams and the grades, but trying to acquire as much as you can and leave behind whatever you want to leave behind for this epoch to the next. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best, and we'll be keep seeing in the campus again and again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. DC School of Architecture and Design is probably the only institute in the region with global intellectual capital and global publications. This institute is headed by and renowned and award-winning architect T.M. Syriac, who has successfully executed many projects nationally and abroad. I warmly welcome Architect T.M. Syriac, sir, Dean of DC School of Architecture and Design, for the felicitation.
Thank you. In fact, being an architect is an opportunity to change the world. We need a change for a better world also. A world where life is easier to live. That is one of the fundamental definitions of design. That's a process where life is, made easier to live. And a world where it is sustainable. Everything is sustainable. Things are sustained. And a world which is beautiful. As architects, we have the power to make this change by designing better cities, better buildings, preserve the nature, preserve the old buildings and heritage, and introduce beauty in everything that we created, that we are creating artificially. Anything which is created artificially is a creation of an architect or a designer. As architects, we become creators. In fact, I always, think, we do the job of God, in a different way, So it is an act of God. Everything we create is an act of God. We create things. This is a great prospect that we are creating, which demands great responsibility also. It demands a lot of original thinking. It demands a lot of hard work to make our ideas into reality. And this is a life-changing process. Being an architect is an entirely life-changing process. That change begins today for this incoming batch. I congratulate the parents and students to make this particular decision to choose architecture as life and also a profession. Our campus is actually one of the only campus in Kerala which has a collaboration with the European College of Architecture. University of Valladolid in Spain, which is something like 800 plus years old. So we have an academic collaboration, and in the coming years, we'll have more programs in that collaboration. So the school has everything you need for your transformation into an architect for the future. I welcome all the incoming students to the course and to our exciting campus. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With this, we have come to an end of the ceremony. I welcome Principal of DC School of Architecture and Design, Architect Georgia Agrikundil, who have been in this college from the beginning of this journey to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mithila. Most respected Chief Guest, Mr. Rasool Pukutti, Chief Facilitator, DCSMAT Institution, Sri Ravi DC, Group Director and Dean Operations, Brigadier MC Ashok Kumar, Dean of DC School of Architecture and Design, Professor Architect T.M. Syriac, Dean Management Studies, Professor Dr. Ramachandran, principals, faculties, parents, and my dear students. A warm and graceful good morning to all of you. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. On behalf of the management, staff, and students of DC School of Architecture and Design, I extend my sincere vote of thanks to our chief guest, Sir Rasool Pukutti, who has spared his time with us and who has shared his wisdom with us, and for his inspiring words also. On this beautiful occasion, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. I would also like to extend my hearty vote of thanks to our chief facilitator, Sri Ravi DC, for being our support and guidance and for being with us on this auspicious day. Thank you, sir. Our group director, Brigadier MC Ashok Kumar, had been with us in all the planning and preparation of this event. It has been his eye of detail that helped us to conduct this event this beautifully. We thank you, sir, from the bottom of our hearts. We would also like to thank our deans, Professor Architect T.M. Syriac and Professor Dr. N. Ramachandran, for being with us in our journey to achieve perfection. Thank you, sirs. I would also like to extend my sincere word of thanks to Principal Professor Srikanth and Vice Principal Professor Akhil Vijayan for being a part of the event. Parents are the backbone of every institution. Their advice, support, guidance, everything has helped us in cruising through these difficult times. On behalf of the management, staff, and students of DCSMAT group of institutions, I extend our sincere vote of thanks to each and every one of you. We have been backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues. They are meticulous and prompt in all their activities, and it is their support that helped us to put together this event. Thank you all. Our dear students are the core of all our activities. Their dedication and efforts go beyond every lines and help us in going places. Thank you all. Today is the start of a new career path for our new beautiful students. We assure you that the choice you made will be taking you to greater heights. The students usually come to study architecture, and later on, they start to live architecture. In every words, the MCs used, in every words, Sirik sir used, in every words, they were speaking about a journey in architecture. We are going to take a journey. Let us all take the journey together. We thank you all for being a part of us also. A big thank you for the Master of Ceremonies for their efforts in anchoring today. Also a big thank you for Architect Regina for organizing the whole event. I would like to conclude my vote of thanks by once again thanking you all for being with us. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To conclude, I urge you to meet everyone and make a cordial relationship with all. I also ask you to be enthusiastic and participate in every event to come. Try to be extraordinary in every case to stand out and shine. We all have very high expectations for all people and are quite positive that you are going to cross all the barriers to fulfill those expectations. With efforts and consistency, you can achieve anything you wish. At the end of this journey, you are going to have a treasure of memories. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. And Mithula and Kalyani, I think a good show. I think well done. George, thank you. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Video വന്നില്ലല്ലേ?
വീഡിയോ ഫേസ്ബുക്കിൽ സ്ട്രീം ചെയ്തതിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടെ കണ്ടില്ല എന്നുള്ളതേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഞാൻ ഫേസ്ബുക്ക് സൈഡിൽ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
Thank you. Shreyas, thank you.
Thank you, sir.